getting the weights. We got a 25, we got a 45.
Let's do it.
All right.
All right, girl, what are we doing today?
Okay, we're going over a lower body strength and stabilization routine. I will show progressions, but it will be geared towards more advanced style of weight training and stabilization work. So I'll be guiding you through this. You can watch this on your way to the gym. I'm going to show bits and clips of the exercises. I'm going to break down how many sets, how many reps you should do, how to modify and how to progress in these exercises and these workouts. And this will get you strong pretty much. We'll fire up all the important muscles, and not only will your legs look strong and sculpted, which everybody loves, but they'll be functional legs. So
I think it's important to note why we're doing this. It's because we show so much correction, we show and talk about so much of this fundamental breathing, fundamental movement. And then we want to show and highlight, like, it's not like that's all you do is this, like,
boring stuff.
This boring shit, right? Yeah, I was like, don't say boring. It's boring as fuck sometimes. But it translates into so much power and strength. And like Nanette said, sculpted, I mean, hello. So,
yeah, we're gonna train.
Let's do it.
All right, so
we're starting with the warm-up.
Yes.
Some warm-up ideas so that you have dynamic movement in your warm-up besides just the traditional, like, on the bike, like a little bit more purposeful, right? Like, if I only have so much time, I want to hit it and go. I don't always have the time to spend hours in the gym playing. So these warm-ups are like so much bang for the buck.
Absolutely. Okay,
go.
So we're gonna do hinges. We're gonna go in 3 stances. You're gonna want to practice.
We love hinges.
Yeah, you want to get warmed up this way, so you can do this as your dynamic warm-up. So what I really recommend is doing 3 stances of your hinges, and then we're gonna slowly pull you into a forward fold. So we're gonna just demo really quick what the hinges look like. Let's do some good morning style.
So Nanette's gonna do advanced variations, and I will do modifications, variations for common things that we see showing up.
Okay, I like to put my hands behind my neck,
favorite
kind of good morning style, and then you're just gonna go for repetitions. You're gonna go for about, you know, we recommend 15 repetitions just to really get into those tissues and start to fire up these this back line of yours. So,
and I think it's really important to note for the hands, as I'm holding, I'm pushing my head and pulling it just 1 out of 10 effort up, and I'm really expanding my elbows wide. Like I'm trying to pull my hands apart a little bit. And keeping that deep back line of the neck long.
Yep. Belly towards your spine. Nice tight tummy. I know this is an overused cue, but for those of like me and Malia that we hyperextend, hyperlordosis, you want to try to kind of work on that. Spine is nice and straight, weight into the heels, and yeah, this is what you want to do. Remember, 15 repetitions, about 3 sets. Awesome. All right. And then just so you can know the stances, you can do narrow, and you can do those good mornings. And you can do also wide and work on those good mornings. But usually a 3 round, a 15 reps, whichever calls for you most to. But I really recommend the wide one because you're gonna get a big stretch into the hamstrings and you're gonna lead up into the forward fold, which we're gonna talk about next. Block, just in case, or a prop if you have at the gym.
Foam roller would work.
Yeah, foam roller, exactly. Foam rollers are at the gym. So I'm not gonna use the block. Malia, you wanna show
sure,
the block?
I will.
And then we're gonna do a wide stance. By the time you're done with these 3 rounds and the 15 reps, you should be pretty warmed up. You should feel your hamstrings and your back firing up. So you wanna work your way slowly into your forward fold. You wanna have that nice, strong hinge. It's already fired up. The eye gaze is down. Don't crane your neck ever, okay? Don't ever do that. Chin is in, tucked in. You wanna put the weight back, wanna put the hips back, and then you're gonna reach the fingertips towards the ground. Now I cue this a lot, be on the fingernails. Don't be with the palms flat, it changes so much. So go ahead and really put the nails on towards the ground, like you're clawing them. Tuck the chin in completely, pull the weight back towards the heels, hold it for about 30 seconds, take nice deep breaths, all right? After your 15 repetition round of hinges, this is what you want to finish off with. Beautiful.
One of my favorite cues about this, and I want not to stay in it so you look at it, is I like to really think of those front ribs pulling in a little bit. Think of pulling the front ribs to the back body up towards the sky and really working the length in that neck. And then when you breathe, take some big breaths like a parachute opening in the back body. And then powerful exhale, find that deep core that you've been working on. And this is that time to really just focus and hone in on that connection so that you can use it as you're lifting these heavier weights.
Always come out safely and slowly. Lengthen your chest up off. Put your palms on the thighs. Lift your chest as your hips lift up also, just so you don't come up in a weird rounded position. Beautiful. So also, maybe do about 2 to 3 of these folds. Remember, hold it 30 seconds, and then that's pretty nice.
It's one of my favorites.
Sit, you're warmed up, functional. The warm-up was quick, doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to do no goofy stuff. It's powerful, and it's gonna make you feel confident as you're doing your what's coming up next. So
absolutely, thank you.
Oh, but before we go into the lower body, continuing with the core and making sure that it stays nice and engaged to avoid the hyperlordosis, which we are going to focus on avoiding in this workout routine. You want to start off with a core routine, or you want to incorporate this before your lower body workout. Sometimes I get lazy and I don't want to work out the core before, and I really regret it because I really feel myself lose that core tension. Don't mind the zoomies, he's also working out legs, so we love having Zeus. We gotta get a Zeus picture so we can.
Oh, we will. That's so great. He's so cute.
So cute. Kitty, go kitty, kitty, kitty. So cute. Okay. All right, so that being said, I have a very cool video that I want you guys to just keep in your little pocket of tools. It's Chris Heria, the 8-minute core routine from 2024. I like this one in specific because it really helps to tone this front line of the body. It really helped me relax that hyperlordosis, and it just really built some nice core strength. Like, I really did hit it up for 2024, and I really liked it. I had a group of friends that also did it, so I'm going to be putting the routine in the description. I'm going to be showing clips of it, and I'm actually going to show you quickly some of the modifications that you could use in this routine so you can progress. You may be on your specific journey where you can't push yourself too hard, so I'm going to give you some modifications, and then you can just throw them in there. I'm going to show quickly the ones that I want. But in the video, he's doing all the way down. So for some, it may be hard.
Yeah, a lot of people can't control that.
Yeah. So, and then also he shows the more advanced, which is with the bump up. But as you can see, if you layer it, you can slowly work into your progressions. Don't force yourself. Make sure your ribs are down and you're not arching your back. Remember, don't do things that are gonna make.
I really think that's one of the most important cues, is that front rib down.
Yes, that's gonna be the important cue. He also shows alternate, and you can also do the same, modifying with a halfway lift. But your goal is to keep that back on the ground and not arch it, okay? So you wanna avoid that. In the video, you'll see him go all the way down. He's holding onto a bar. I'm not holding on to anything. You can hold on to the bar, but still,
I'm not holding on to anything.
Remember, your modification is here, here, wherever your back stays neutral, okay? So showing seated in and outs. And in the seated in and outs, he does show the modification a bit, but you can stay little, you can work medium, or you can work in the full range, okay? But start slow, find your modification. You want to be on your sit bones.
So I have a question, and that when people are doing this of all different body shapes, sometimes our legs want to go to the side. What do you recommend? Just pulling it into the end range where the knees stay together, or letting the knees come out?
Letting the knees come out, but as you're going forward, you want to try to engage your thighs towards each other, and then you can let them come back and open. But the lengthening is the big tension point. where you want to work towards the knees and the legs towards each other. And that's also very important. Your legs have to be close to each other all the time for that upper inner thigh engagement. So you want to squeeze your inner thighs, whether you're doing this or this, whatever it may be. You want to keep the inner thighs very, very close. But in that one, that's a good question. Not everybody can do it like this. You can open up, which is also great, but keep it nice and close. You'll see him do it in the video too, where he gets the legs nice and close. He has great form. The video doesn't get any easier, you just get better at it, and it's only 8 minutes. Another modification is the Russian twist, which he doesn't really show, so I'm gonna go ahead and demo. You can do it feet flat, try to keep your legs close to each other. This is for a beginner, okay? This is intermediate. He does the more advanced variation, but his legs are still very close, so, which I love. I love his form.
Do you think for the people who are first starting their journey and really working, have never probably focused on the adductors, even in that position, it's a great option to put the block there and hold as you,
you can totally
squeeze that midline and find the movement pattern in those ribs? Because a lot of us might not have.
You can work here. This will be harder still. But you can definitely work here if you want to progress a little bit more.
I was thinking between the thighs.
Oh, between the thighs? Oof, much harder.
See, but if you stayed there for someone who's just beginning, I think that's a beautiful way to find that deep connection.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. Those are all good. This is hard. This is hard even for me, so.
So for the rest of us.
She made it harder but simpler. Ta-da!
Simple does not always equal easy.
No. So yeah, really bang this one out. Have fun in the video.
Feel that right there. I can't wait to do it.
And the twist is good. You get that oblique rotation. He does bicycles, which are also pretty simple. So you try your best in your bicycles. Keep the inner thighs towards each other. Same jam. Okay. Inner thighs stay close. Bicycle legs don't have to go all the way through. You can stay short. You can keep the upper body down, reach the arms, and work a little bit legs close, okay? So find your modification, because then you can work in 2 progressions. You don't have to rush. Some people will try to
slower the better.
Slow it down. Even though it's timed, don't worry. Try to get the form right. You're gonna get more out of it by doing the form correct. And I think those are the modifications in the videos that I really needed to highlight. So enjoy that video. Make sure you get it into your routine after your hinges, your forward folds, and then your core workout routine. Oh, next, the workout.
The workout.
Brutal. Okay. Now, up on the list, I have bands. And I'm just gonna show lateral band walks as a hip stabilizer. And I recommend this for both men and women. So both men and women should do this. It's your lateral hip stabilizer. And work with a band. This one's this elastic band. You can also put the band around your thigh, but I find that it knocks your knees in a lot. So work with a band that you can put around your ankle. These are super cheap, okay? It's cheap. Invest in them.
Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say it's an investment.
Invest in them. With these rubbery ones at the ankle is gonna give you a tremendous, tremendous lateral hip stability workout. So you can do little steps to the side. I'm gonna demo in the front side of the body. Ooh. The outer edges of the feet are nice and straight. Okay? And so, once again, outer edges of the feet lined up. Don't do this. Even if you're doing, like, this is already off. Woo, bad, very bad for your knees. Feet nice and straight. This is your goal. This is gonna make you fire up your glutes and your lateral hip stabilizers much more. So make sure it's nice and aligned.
It's that subtle internal rotation to target that lateral muscle.
Absolutely, there you go.
That's the trick that's missing.
So you can do quick little side steps, or you can do full little walks, okay? If you're doing little side steps, do a minute. If you have small space, sometimes you're in the gym and you can't take up so much space.
Yeah.
you know, and you just gotta get your little side step going. So you can work on that side step. You can do counted steps, okay? Or you can end one side of the wall and to the other side of the wall. Now this, you can take as big of a step as possible once you start to feel a little bit more confident. Always with that outer edge of the foot.
I was just gonna say that.
Nice and straight. It needs to stay like that the whole time.
Yep.
Once you lose that, you lose the engagement of your glutes.
It'll be the first thing that really goes too.
Yes. We're going to get into the unilateral lunge hinges. I have a modified version, a little bit different than what Malia teaches. I like it. It's good. Kind of target your hamstring. So you'll have your stance, and the stance is a short stance, okay? So in this short stance, you wanna make sure your feet are always straight, okay? So you have feet straight, a kick in the back heel. This front leg is going to stay relatively long, okay? Never lock out your knee, micro soften it. Now this front knee is gonna bend, and you're gonna really get on the back ball of the foot, and you're going to hinge your hip back. This is beginner if you don't wanna use your weights. I'm tracing both of my hands down into the front of my thighs, okay? Hinging, chin is in, moving through the hip in a shorter stance position. Squeezing your inner thighs gently towards each other. Try to close that gap on the inner part. And you can do this with or without weights. Warming up your glutes, warming up your hamstrings, and doing this cool little split stance you see here. This is not a quad dominant lunge. This is a more posterior chain, glute, hamstring, hip, lower back style of a lunge, okay?
And the neck position stays in that elongated posterior. So the chin looks slightly tucked here for her, but we really want to focus on the elongation of the back of the neck. If you have shoulder pain, headaches, neck pain, tight traps, this is where we really want to focus that length back there.
And you can do any of these with or without weights, which is also a good stretch, not gonna lie.
Yeah, for sure.
So this is, okay, this is where you start to get into the more challenging functional part of lower body workouts, which nobody wants to do. So this is the good stuff. Balance to lunge. So you can use a wall at the gym. There's a chair here. You can use a chair if you're doing it at home. Hold on to something if you need to, if you're not ready yet. If you're more advanced, go ahead and grab your weights or grind it out with or without weights. So lunge to balance, feet are nice and straight always. You're gonna have hands in prayer, a fist, a weight here. You're going to balance. You can look at any of our balance routine videos, by the way. We have a lot of them, like how to progress in balance. This is great. Okay, this is where you start. And then you're gonna go ahead, hinge it back, land it. All right, you land in this hinge like lunge, okay? Don't lower. You're gonna come back up again. I'm not having you bend the knees in a crazy lunge so you don't mess up your knees. I'm having you hinge, land it, okay? Subtle knee bend, hip hinge, a little squeeze of the inner thighs. For those of you that are a little bit more brave, you'll have the weight. Loading, pressing through. Woo. This is the work. That transition. You saw how I caught it? Big load on the booty. So you practice these. This is super gains Feel it a lot. It's gonna stabilize your foot. You're gonna take it to another dimension in your lower body game routine. This is what you wanna add that other routines won't add for you. So you can try that out. Short stance lunge mimics you getting down to tie your shoe. So I really like this one. Turn it into an exercise. So short stance.
This is one of my favorites.
Malia's gonna be recording in the back. So without weights, core is nice and braced. And then you're going to go ahead, sit the hips back, sit the knees back, ground the foot, and press back up again. If this is too much, step back a little bit more, and you can go through the same motion, but stay in a shorter lunge. It's not a traditional style lunge, it's not this one. It's a hinge, shorter stance, mimicking more of that movement. This is your modification without weights, because you can do any of these without weights. So it's a little bit more quad loaded, but that's okay. We also want to strengthen the quads, make sure they're balanced with the hamstring strength. And with weights, grind it to where it feels good for you. And then work through it. Now notice that everything I'm doing, and I'm gonna put this in the beginning also, is with the weight in front of me. This is so I don't go into the hyperlordosis. Also, this gives me an incredible workout on my upper body, to be straight up.
For sure.
So you can just build on that upper body strength, chest, anterior core. And if you really want to focus on your quads, this is where you want your weight distribution to be at. It's so,
you're so funny.
Malia highlighted something important. So this is more so for my beginners, because I'm thinking advanced today. Malia's like, hold on. But for progression.
So if you're just beginning and this range of motion maybe is not as accessible coming all the way down, because you're gonna wanna get down because that's what you see. But what's gonna happen is you're gonna compensate in the pelvis. So, and Nanette's gonna do it like that. Go ahead, like she didn't have that range, and let your hip drop and then just kind of rotate like that would come up the chain. So her hips are really tilted. So what I want her to do is come up until you can come down in that range of motion and have the strength at that end range. Come down to where you, right at the edge of where your pelvis wants to tilt. Keep that pelvis neutral, and then that's the range you work in. Go ahead, go up. This is going to burn like a mother, but it's going to build the strength, so as you get stronger, you'll be able to access more range of motion without compensation.
Boom. All right, this is where we go into more advanced. So this is more my advanced. Everybody else, if you're struggling with the other ones, you got the balance, you got the hinges, you got the forward, you got the lateral, you got everything. Just chill, slow it down.
You gotta earn it.
You gotta earn it. So we got split stance, which is gonna go more into quad. Stance is a little bit more open to the side. It's like a half squat. All right, so it's pretty cool actually. This was the one we were doing before, but the next progression would be a little bit more open. Don't worry too much about the hips here, because you're kicking it out of an angle. So it's not gonna be super aligned. Malia's gonna look at that, she'll be like, what the fuck?
It's B stance, man.
There we go.
Although I think most
toes.
people turn it out a little bit when they do
Like
B
this?
stance, yeah.
Yeah, I still like to do the straight, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like my hips will go a little crazy, so yeah. Overall, it's still a little bit straighter than usual. On the ball of the feet, okay? I love this. Killer. Big time. No shoes, all right? No shoes for this.
And I was just gonna say, watch that big toe mound on the working leg, that standing leg.
This is everything.
Strength. Her foot is working so hard to keep her anchored down. So this is where your foot strength is coming in. That's gonna stabilize the hip.
Whew. Game changer. Whew, guys, making me work.
Work.
Malia's like, I want to join you.
I know.
Not really.
I do.
Different.
Yes.
With weights, without work on it. All right.
So good.
Functional, difficult, a lot of stability is required. Something good to work towards.
Yes, they're advanced strength. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of people just try to jump right in.
No,
You got to work to that.
little, feel it out. All of our other videos are going to get you here. This is what I do those other things to be able to do this. So practice whatever you see us put out there for you. It's very well thought out,
Let's just work smarter,
you
not
know?
harder.
So
Less injury.
exactly.
Or rehabbing from injury that is actually more sustainable and long term.
Exactly. We're here.
Yeah, hit
Beautiful
us up.
sun,
Beautiful day.
living the life, living the dream. I'll see you grounded in motion. Ew.